Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to SA Accounting Academy. Here's a short clip on one of our previous webinars. I hope that you really do enjoy it.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. A warm welcome to our webinar for today. Right. Have all of you downloaded the slides? Under your shared files, you'll see the slides there, and you would have seen it on the startup screen of the webinar as well. Okay, so a warm welcome to you on this rather chilly day on the Highveld. We are dealing today with the revised ISRS 4400, which was revised way back in 2020, but somehow when COVID happened, everybody just sort of ignored it. So it's not like anybody actually used it to its fullest extent. And there have been some new documents that have been published by IFAC. So I definitely want to just show you those as well today. Right, let me change my pointer so that you can see. So my name is Letty Janse van Vuren, and I will be your facilitator for the next 2 hours. We will be focusing on agreed upon procedures, obviously when to do it, how to use it, how to do the engagements, how to use it to further your practice, and then with a little bit of a practical twist, we will look at some new publications as a result of this document. The revised ISRS was effective for engagements that start on or after the 1st of Jan 2022. And it has affected all the reports for some of the industries that have been published of late. There's 5 or 6 industries that they've done just now in March, April, and May. So I have also included those for you. Right. So that's our webinar. Let's get started. That's me. You'll see I've been with SAAA since November 2017. I'm basically responsible for the MCLU, which is our monthly compliance and legislation updates. And then this is what I do. I do the webinar hosting, and then I do a lot of training, and then I also do some consultation. Right, consultation on whatever practices need me for. Questions on audit files, file reviews, questions on help urbers coming for a visit, psychos coming for a visit. So whenever the regulators come for their monitoring visits as well, guess you can say I'm a problem solver by profession. So let's then get straight into our webinar. What's on the agenda for today? What's the contents of our webinar? We're going to start off by looking at an introduction. Okay. In the introduction, I'm going to look at when to use it, what the benefits are, and all sorts. So a bit of a background and a bit of a what you should know already. Then in terms of the content of the full ISRS 4400, it's in a nutshell. So I'm going to tell you what's available in the standard. What can you find in the standard? Because we should be referring to the standard at all times. Right. And then any significant changes, there's a short summary that I would like to give to you. And the short summary comes by way of the fact sheet that was published by IFAC. And then we'll be looking at some bonus material published by IFAC in terms of choosing the right service, a nice little document which you can actually forward to your clients, because sometimes your clients still don't understand why is it better to have an audit, or why is it better to have this, when do I need what. And sometimes they only know the word audit and they don't know that they can actually opt for other services, or they don't even know that they can use agreed upon procedures in other areas within their business, and then help you to grow your practice like that. So let's say they've got a system, POPIA, for instance. They've got to remain POPIA compliant. They've got to be POPIA compliant. And if they have no idea whether or not they are, they can actually engage you to monitor their process of POPIA compliance. So, and that would be an agreed upon procedures. And you would then come out and say, this is what you should have done, and this is what you have done. Right. And then we'll be looking at 6 case study examples. There are 6 that have been provided. That's a horrible 6. 6 that have been provided to you, and we will be looking at those in a little bit more detail. Why I like these case study examples is because they actually give us illustrative examples that we can perform on certain types of agreed upon procedures. And then just a little bit in closing is just my final words to you for today. So let's get straight into our introduction. Right, so as part of the introduction, I always need to start with abbreviations that we've used. These are the abbreviations that you'll see me use in my slides. AUP stands for Agreed Upon Procedures Engagement. Okay, so AUP is the Agreed Upon Procedures Engagement. IFAC stands for the International Federation of Accountants. Now, most of our member bodies, all of our member bodies, as far as I'm concerned, are members of IFAC, SICA, SIPA, SIBA, SEMA, ACCA, all of those, right, belong to IFAC. So we adopt the IFAC Code of Ethics, which is done by ISBA. There are two standard setting bodies inside IFAC. One of them is the IAASB, which is the International Auditing and Assurance Standards Board, and they are the ones that develop the standards, all the ISAs, the International Standards of Auditing, the ISREs on, well, just the one, the ISRE on review engagements, ISRE 2400, and then all the ISRS standards as well, international standards on related services. Related services are ones that are not assurance, so it's not assurance services, right? Not assurance services, but it is still services that you provide and that you need to adhere to the guidance to. So it would be things like agreed upon procedures, compilations, and so on. All right. So that's the related services. ISRS and then FAQs, is frequently asked questions. Right. So those are the ones that you'll see on my slides. So let's start off. What I did here is I did like a little summary all on one spot. I think you guys have um, you've all been to previous agreed upon procedures training, so you would have gone through the standard and the theory and the everything behind it. So really today my goal will be to give you a more practical approach to agreed upon procedures. So in a nutshell, an agreed upon procedures is where a practitioner provides a report based on factual findings. Right, factual findings. Morning, Andrew. Right. So factual findings, and that is as agreed upon with the client. So very important is there are procedures that you need to agree upon with the client, and then you provide a report based on what you have found. They've also, in the old days, they didn't call it an agreed upon procedures report. They called it a factual findings report. Now, it's the same thing. You just spell it differently nowadays. It just carries a different tag. The engagement remains the same. You get engaged to do certain procedures and you present your factual findings. So, hence, there is no assurance whatsoever. You don't say, I think that this and this and this, or there are no mistakes, or there are no exceptions, or nothing like that. There's no positive assurance like on an audit. There's no negative assurance like on an independent review. There's no limited assurance, nothing. There's absolutely nothing. There's the two things that says these are the procedures, these are the findings. And then the users of the report will assess for themselves which procedures were done and what the findings were that you did or what you found, and then they will draw their own conclusions from the work that you've done. The report is normally not distributed publicly. There is a paragraph that you can include in your practitioner's report for that. Let's say that you are, because remember, audit reports can be provided to anybody. So it is not for a it's not for issued for a sole purpose for somebody. It is issued for a wide variety of users. So with an AUP engagement, it is restricted to the parties that have agreed to the procedures. So I think it's also um, a good idea then to also include that in your report. Johan, yes, there is no assurance. It's also like a compilation report. Remember, a compilation report is where you've compiled certain information. like financial statements. And the compilation report, the compiler's report will say, the practitioner provided me with the financial information.
I hope that you enjoyed that video. For more of our webinar videos, go to www.accountingacademy.co.za. Thank you and have a lovely day.